What's up, guys? I'm DK, and you're watching Pro Wrestling What If, the series where I look at the different what if scenarios as terms of the world that we call professional wrestling. John Cena's third reign as WWE Champion had lasted a total of 380 days, the longest championship reign in almost 20 years at that time. However, the reign was forced to be over as John Cena had to vacate it after suffering a torn pectoral muscle injury against Mr. Kennedy on Raw. John Cena was originally scheduled to defend the WWE Championship against Randy Orton in a last man standing match at No Mercy 2007. But Randy Orton was awarded the title instead by Mr. McMahon. This led to Randy Orton having a match with Triple H that night, resulting in him dropping the title to him. Then Triple H later on that night would defend the championship against Umaga and retain, with then the main event of the show being another match between Randy Orton and Triple H, this time in a last man standing match with Randy Orton winning back the WWE Championship. John Cena was told by doctors that the rehabbing process for his injury would take between 6 months to a year to fully heal. However, John Cena made a shocking return 3 months into recovery as the 30th entrant in the 2008 Royal Rumble match and won the match, last eliminating Triple H, punching his ticket to a world title match of his choice at WrestleMania 24. And with the 2025 Royal Rumble Premium Live event around the corner, I thought that this would be a perfect time to do this specific video, especially with another little announcement I'm about to make. So of course today's video would be what if John Cena didn't return at Royal Rumble 2008? Or in some people's mind, this video could be called what if John Cena didn't have alien-like healing powers that made him return much faster than a normal human being. But I do have a big announcement for this channel, is that if you're going to comment anything as terms to a future video, I would suggest something relating to John Cena, because in honor of John Cena's farewell tour that is already kicked off, I am going to be doing one John Cena related what if a month throughout the duration of 2025. And I know a lot of you guys have been sending in quite a bit of different John Cena ones, so those are going to be in consideration. But comment those down again, because maybe there's some I missed, and that will be included in one John Cena related what if a month throughout 2025. And if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share this to all your friends, subscribe, and press the notification bell for when future episodes get released, and leave a comment down below about today's topic or suggesting a future topic for an episode of Pro Wrestling What If. So we're going to begin this at Royal Rumble 2008. Of course, the night where John Cena would make his miraculous return and end up winning the match. But because in this case, John Cena would follow by the rules and go between that 6 and 12 month recovery period, and that's why I think that Triple H would have ended up being the one to win the Royal Rumble match. I think once management found out about John Cena's injury and then being told that it's likely Cena wasn't going to make it to WrestleMania, that I think it was decided right then and there that it would be Triple H versus Randy Orton. WWE had separated Randy Orton and Triple H in their own feuds after the last man standing match at No Mercy all the way until WrestleMania. Even to the point where Triple H had ended up losing a number one's contender match the month prior to Jeff Hardy at Armageddon, allowing Triple H to be a part of the Royal Rumble match, while Jeff Hardy got to challenge Randy Orton for the WWE Championship that very same night at the 2008 Royal Rumble event. So it just made sense that Triple H would end up being the winner of the Royal Rumble, so that way also another reason for Randy Orton and Triple H to not interact each other even before WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble. Which leads to the next pay-per-view event, which was No Way Out in 2008. Of course, in the real timeline, John Cena had decided to cash in his WrestleMania title opportunity early by challenging Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. However, in this match, John Cena would win the match, but by disqualification after Randy Orton slapped the referee in the face, allowing Randy Orton to retain the championship and John Cena not getting a title match at WrestleMania. And during during this night, Triple H had won a #1 contender elimination chamber match that got him the opportunity to be the challenger for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 24. And honestly, I think if anything, the roles would be reversed, where I think that Randy Orton, instead of having a singles match, would have defended the WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber, and it likely would have been against the same 5 competitors as we've seen Triple H face in the real timeline, besides one person, because I think in this case, Triple H would have a one-on-one match with Umaga, who was a part of that Elimination Chamber match. And I think there would have been definitely some sort of stipulation where if Umaga possibly won, maybe he would get the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. But of course, Triple H overcomes the odds. He's going to be getting that championship match at WrestleMania. Plus, Triple H and Umaga had already faced each other a lot throughout the end of 2007, so it would have made sense for them to kind of culminate their rivalry right here in a one-on-one match. WrestleMania 24. Of course, in the real timeline, we had seen the triple threat match with John Cena, Triple H, and Randy Orton because of John Cena getting another chance after what had ended up happening at No Way Out. And we would see Randy Orton actually retain the WWE Championship after punting Triple H in the head when Triple H had hit John Cena with the pedigree, and Randy Orton picked up the scraps to retain. But in this case, of course, because John Cena is no longer in the equation, we of course would see a one-on-one match between Triple H and Randy Orton. And 1 year after, at WrestleMania 25, we did end up seeing Randy Orton versus Triple H for the WWE Championship, and that's likely because they wanted to do it here at WrestleMania 24, but when John Cena returned and they likely didn't have other plans for John Cena, they just threw him into the match between Randy Orton and Triple H instead of coming up with John Cena's own separate match. And another reason why it would definitely be a one-on-one match between Triple H and Randy Orton here is because they actually tried doing this years prior. When they had the angle of Randy Orton getting kicked out of Evolution, the plan was to have another one-on-one match between Randy Orton and Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 21, but because of Batista's popularity growing so much that WWE simply couldn't ignore it, they had decided to actually have that Randy Orton Triple H match be given to us at the Royal Rumble event, with then Batista winning the Royal Rumble and facing Triple H at WrestleMania 21 instead. Another thing that was originally supposed to happen is that the year prior, Triple H was originally scheduled to face John Cena at WrestleMania 23. However, with his torn quadricep injury at New Year's Revolution 2007, that had switched plans. So now I believe that even if somehow maybe if John Cena was not injured and he went into WrestleMania as the champion, that I still think Triple H would have challenged for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 24. And for this match, I actually think that Triple H would end up winning the WWE Championship from Randy Orton. Backlash 2008. So in the real timeline, we had ended up seeing a fatal 4-way match with JBL, John Cena, Triple H, and Randy Orton in an elimination style match for the WWE Championship. And within this match, we actually ended up seeing Triple H last eliminating Randy Orton to become the WWE Champion in this case. But I think for this match, once again, we do get a one-on-one style of match between Randy Orton and Triple H. This would be the rematch clause for Randy Orton since Triple H had already won the championship at WrestleMania 24. And I think during this event, John Cena actually finally makes his return from injury, because at this point, this event would mark the 6th month in the 6 to 12 month period of John Cena's recovery time, so he technically can come back to WWE TV at this point. However, John Cena doesn't wrestle on the show, but he does get involved in a way during the main event that would allow Randy Orton to lose the match and Triple H would retain the WWE Championship. Judgment Day 2008. So in the real timeline, we had John Cena begin a feud with JBL, while Randy Orton and Triple H had continued their rivalry, more specifically in a steel cage match for the WWE Championship. Now, I think in this timeline, all 4 of these competitors would mingle up with each other, but it would be a little switched up, as I think Triple H would be defending the WWE Championship against JBL in a rivalry, while I think John Cena would face Randy Orton and they would get the steel cage match. Now, although it would make sense for John Cena to go after the WWE Championship at this point because he never actually lost the title, I think one of the bigger motives for John Cena is to go after the guy that had put him on the shelf in the first place with Randy Orton. So the steel cage match would be a #1 contender match where the winner of the match would challenge either Triple H or JBL for the WWE Championship at the following pay-per-view. Neither of the competitors win the match. The match would actually be a draw. And yes, I know that kind of sounds stupid, but it also sounds like a very Vince McMahon thing to do, and you're probably thinking, how could you have a draw when it comes to a steel cage match? And that would be the fact that John Cena would climb over the cage to escape while Randy Orton tries to escape through the door, and both competitors hit the floor at the exact same time. And it was a common occurrence around this time that Vince McMahon just loved to stretch the out of rivalry so much that even the endings just don't make sense, so that way we can get a long rivalry. Just look at the year after in 2009 where Randy Orton and John Cena had a rivalry over the WWE title that spanned across 4 pay-per-view events. We have opened up YouTube channel memberships. Now at the moment as this gets released, we only have 1 tier, which is only $1.99, which you get stuff like behind the scenes footage and photos. You get a shout out on every single episode of Pro Wrestling What If, and more importantly, you get early access 24 hours before anyone else does for every single episode of Pro Wrestling What If. We wanted to give a shout out to Jackson Weingart, Jada Sanchez, and Fox Starkiller for joining our YouTube channel membership. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It'll be greatly appreciated, and hopefully there'll be enough people interested that we can open up more tiers, including eventually doing a tier with bonus content that you can't see otherwise. But let's get right back to the video. One Night Stand 2008. In the real timeline, we had seen John Cena against JBL in a first blood match, and then once again, Randy Orton and Triple H had continued their rivalry for the WWE Championship, but at this point, it was in a last man standing match. And once again, just like I mentioned with Judgment Day, we're kind of going the same 4 competitors but switched up, where Triple H and JBL would face each other for the WWE Championship, but I don't know if it would be a first blood match or not. But I will say that for John Cena versus Randy Orton, this match would be a last man standing match, once again a #1's contender match. And the reason I wanted to have John Cena and Randy Orton in the last man standing match is because of the fact we never ended up getting it at No Mercy 2007. And don't worry, at this point there would be a definitive winner, and that definitive winner of course would be John Cena being the last man standing and becoming the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. When it comes to Night of Champions, this would mean that we'd roll back to John Cena versus Triple H for the WWE Championship, which did end up happening in the real timeline. But the one big thing that does happen in this timeline is that because Randy Orton had faced John Cena instead of Triple H, Randy Orton does not suffer the collarbone injury that puts him on the shelf throughout the entire summer of 2008. So for all we know, maybe Randy Orton somehow gets another crack at that World Championship throughout the summer. Maybe perhaps Randy Orton versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship.